Hello there. Welcome to CXC Math TV. And today we're going to be go through the SAT Mathematics Section 4, the Mathematics Section 4, and this is for Practice Test 10. All right, and if you want a link to the paper, it will be down in the description. All right, so just go down in the description to download this paper. With that being said, let's get started. As you can see, 55 minutes, 38 questions. So you want to practice to be able to do the paper within the time limit, 55 minutes. Do not practice to spend more than 55 minutes on the 38 questions. All right, so let's get started. So number one, it says a helicopter initially hovering 40 feet above the ground begins to gain altitude at a rate of 21 feet per second. Which of the following represents the helicopter's altitude above ground in t seconds after the helicopter begins to gain altitude? So, remember, if you're drawing the graph, right, this is the equation of a line y equal to mx plus c, where x is your independent variable. Your independent variable is time, right? And it told us initially that when the time was 0, it told us that at the beginning it was what? 40 meters. So on the y-axis, remember, in feet or height of the helicopter. And then the helicopter just gonna rise in height 21 feet for every second. So after 1 second, it reach 61 feet and so forth. Which equation represents this? Easily, option B, 40 plus 21t. The gradient is 21 and the y-axis intercept is 40. Option B. Number 2, it says a text messaging plan charges a flat fee of $5 per month for up to 100 texts plus 25 cents for each additional text message sent for that month. Which of the following graphs represent the cost of sending X text message for the month? So the first thing they told us was what? Them charge a flat rate of $5, right? And you're going to pay that same rate for 100 texts. As soon as you reach 100 texts, guess what? You have to start pay some more money. So now you have to pay 25 cents for each other text. So when it reach 500, you know you're going to pay 25 for the next 400 texts plus the 100 they get for the flat rate. So this is it. Option A. Easy, nice. Question 3. Question 3 says, Jake buys a bag of popcorn at a movie theater. He eats half of the popcorn during the 15 minutes of the previews. So at the beginning of the movie, right, you know, at the start, pure adds a show. So if the popcorn start right here at X, then it gonna reach half X in 15 minutes, right? So Jake just eats, and Jake is eating away. So Jake is eating away in 15 minutes, him eat half the popcorn. Then the next thing it says is he stops eating for the next 30 minutes. I guess the movie starts and he's so intrigued. You know, when you watch television and the person have their mouth wide open, that's Jake, right? And he does that for the next 30 minutes. And then he gradually eats the popcorn until it spills. So he gradually eats it going down again until it just make a sharp, sudden, and it finish. So looking for a graph that look like this. So that would definitely be option B right here. All right, couldn't be C, couldn't be A, and definitely couldn't be D. So it's option B. Just so you can see option D, here it is, couldn't be that one. So it's option B. Question 4. If 20 minus x is 15, what is the value of 3x? So clearly we know 20 minus 5 is 15. So x is 5. And so 3x is 3 times 5, which is 15. Option C. Not too bad. Question 5. For the function f is defined above, what is the value of f of minus 1? So all we're going to do is plug in x as what? Negative 1. So f of negative 1 is going to be, plug in x as negative 1, we're going to get negative 1 plus 3 over 2. Negative 1 plus 3 is 2, and 2 over 2 is 1. So that's option C. Nice. No problem there. All right. Number 6. Number 6, it says, which of the following is equivalent to 2x times x squared minus 3x? So 2x times x squared, that becomes 2x cubed, minus 2 times 3 is 6, and x times x is x squared. So that's it. 2x cubed minus 6x squared, option D. Easy. My gosh, that's so easy. Nice. Okay, now, sorry about that. Let's go now to question 7. Question 7 says a retail company has 50 large stores located in different areas throughout a state. A researcher for the company believes that employee job satisfaction varies greatly from store to store. Which of the following sampling methods is most appropriate to estimate the proportion of all the employees of the company who are satisfied with their job? And so in this case now, we have 50 stores all over our state, right? And we have 50 stores all over a state, and we want to find, the best sampling technique to find out, how the employees feel about their job. So selecting one store, oh no, we cannot select just one store and then make a conclusion about all 50. Then it says selecting 10 employees from each store key at random, then surveying each employee selected. Very good. So if you select 10 employees from the 50 stores, it's really 500 person. That way you got a representation of all the different stores, right? So B is fair. This one is most appropriate. Easily. Nice. Okay. Question 8. Question 8 says the two graphs above show the total amount of money that Ian and Jeremy deposited. After they made their initial deposit, how much more did Ian deposit each week than Jeremy? So realize that this one is for Ian. Realize that Ian started with $100, then week 1 he had 200. So that means that Ian deposit 100 weekly. Now, for Jeremy now, realize that, okay, Jeremy started with 300, but then his money only went to 350, then to 400. So in 2 weeks, Jeremy saved $100. So that means a week, Jeremy is saving $50. So the difference between them is 100 minus 50, which is $50. That's how much Jeremy is saving. Easy. So far, so easy, man. It's so easy, right? Nice. Number 9. Number 9 says the function h of x is 2 to the x. Find h of 5 minus h of 3. So h of 5 minus h of 3 is equal to plug in x as 5, so it's 2 to the 5th, minus plug in x as 3, 2 cubed. 2 to the 5th is 32, minus 2 cubed is 8. 32 minus 8 is 24. That is option C. Easy. All right, next question. Number 10. Number 10 says a researcher surveyed a random sample of students from a large university. Using the sample data, the researcher estimated 23% of students in the population saw a movie at least once for the month. The margin of error was 4%. So that means if it's 4% margin of error, it's 23 plus or minus 4%. So automatically the true proportion can be somewhere between 19% to 27%. So now it says, which of the following is most appropriate conclusion about all students at the university based on the estimate and the margin of error? So it is unlikely. First thing that is out, we cannot make a conclusion about unlikely. At least 23%, but no more than 25. If the margin of error is 4, it can't be maxed out at 25, so this is out. The researcher is between 19% and 27% sure that most students see a movie at least once. And let's read D. It is plausible. Hear this? It is possible or plausible that the percentage of students who see a movie at least once for the month is between 19 to 27. This is a reliable conclusion based on what we would gather from our sample. So that is it. Easy. That's option D. Nice. Number 11, they give us a table and they say which of the following is true, comparing list A and list B. First thing we realize it's talking about mean and standard deviation. So first remember mean bar x is the sum of x over n. So for the first one, for list A, bar x A is, add them up, 1, 2, and 3 is 6. And then we add up 4, 5, and 6. So this is 6 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. That is 21. And then we divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the mean is 21 over 6, which is 3.5. Now for list B, so bar xb meaning the mean for list B, add them up. 2 and 3 is 5, and 3 is 8, and 4 is 12, and 4 is 16, and 5 is 21. So that's 21 over 6, which is 3.5. So guess what? Means are the same. Good. So the means are the same. Now we need to worry about the standard deviation. Now standard deviation, the formula for it is the square root of the sum of xi squared over n minus bar x all squared. So if we're utilizing this, it's equal to the square root of, let's go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and do this now. So of course, let me just make this a little smaller. So let's go ahead and do this now. So now we need to add up each x value square. So I'm going to use the calculator just in the interest of time. So we're working out for list A, it is 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square plus 6 square. And we end up get 91. So the sum of xi squared, so this is the standard deviation for list A, that's 91 over n. N is 6 minus the mean 3.5 all squared. And the standard deviation for B is the square root of, add up the sum of xi squared. So 2 squared is 4, 3 squared 9, 3 squared 9, 4 squared 16, 4 squared 16, 5 squared 25. Adding them, 25 and 16 is 41, and 16, 57, and 9, 66, and another 9. Maybe I'm adding wrong, so let me just use the calculator. So sorry about that, I'll just use the calculator, because I lost track of where I was in the addition, and I thought I made a mistake somewhere, so that gives us 79. Clearly, we're going to get different standard deviations. So even though they have the same mean, the only way we get the same answer is if it was the same number here. Notice we get two different numbers. So without using the calculator, the standard deviation can't be the same. So mean is the same, but standard deviations are different. Option A. Easy. Okay, that's number 12 we need now. Number 12, it says a book was on sale for 40% off its original price. So that means we're going to pay 60% of the original price. So whatever the original price is, let's say the original price was Y. Let's call the original price Y. So we're saying we're paying 0.6Y because we're paying 60% of the original price. And then they tell us that the sale price for the book was 18. So the 60% that we pay is just $18. What was the original price? In other words, find Y. So all we have to do now is divide both sides by 0.6. So 18 divided by 0.6, you put that into your calculator. 18 divided by 0.6, that's 30. Easy. That's $30. Nice. All right, question 13. Now, remember in SATs, you want to save time, so you don't necessarily need to do all of this reading. We're just going to look at what the question is asking. Which of the following colonies showed a decrease in size every 2 weeks after the initial treatment with pesticide? So every 2 weeks we should see a decrease. Notice this going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. So colony A is going down, going B, going down, going down, going down, going down. So colony B is also going down. But notice colony C is increasing. So going down, we can tell them is A and B, which is 1 and 2. Nice. Question 14. Question 14 says, of the following, which of the following is closest to the ratio for the total number of insects in all three colonies in week 8 to the total number of insects at the total initial treatment? So basically, we want total number of insects in week 8, so week 8 here. So the total for week 8 to the ratio for total insects at the beginning. So T8 mean total in week 8. Week 8 total. This look less than 20. It looks somewhere like 18, but I'll just round off to 20. This look like somewhere about 10. And this looks somewhere about 50. These are rounded off values, okay? So this is 60 and 20 is 80. So 80 to the initial is, this is about 80. This is about 65. And this is about maybe 55. These are just estimated values, all right? All right, so 80 and 65, that is 145, and 55 is 200. And so now we realize that the ratio is 80 to 200. 80 to 200, the zeros cancel, and then 4 into itself, 2 times 4 into 25 times. So it's 2 to 5. Option A. Easy. Nice. Question 15. It says a right circular cone has a volume 24 pi cubic inches. If the height is 2, what is the radius? Now, if you cannot remember the volume formula of right, remember it says right circular cone. If you cannot remember, remember the formula sheet is at the front. So the formula sheet, this is a right, see here the right circular cylinder, this one. The volume is 1 over 3 pi r square h. So you're going to come back here now and just put the formula is 1 over 3 pi r square h. They gave us the volume to be 24, so put V as 24 pi equal 1 over 3 pi r squared times h, and h is 2. In this case now what we can do is we can divide both sides by 2 pi, and if we divide by 2 pi, this 2 cancel this 2, and pi cancel this pi cancel this pi, and 24 over 2 is 12, so 12 is equal to 1/3 r squared. We can multiply through by 3 to get 36 equal r squared, and so r is the square root of 36, which is 6. That's option B. Easy, soft, and nice. No worries. Okay, question 16. Question 16. Question 16 says in 2015 the population of city X and city Y were equal. And it says from 2010 to 2015 the population of city X increased by 20% and the population of city Y decreased by 10%. If the population of city X was 120,000 in 2010, what's the population of city Y in 2010? I like to do these in a table, alright? So look what I'm going to do. I just draw my little table. It's for me, okay? So this is city X and this is city Y. And this one here is for 2010 and this is for 2015. First thing is they're telling us that the population of city X, let's call it P. They told us that from 2010 to 2015, it increased by 20%. If it increased by 20%, it is now 1.2 P in 2015. So let me not write the years like this. All right, this one is for 2010 and this is for 2015. So it go from P to 1.2 P because it increased by 20%. Then in 2015, the population for city Y, let's say it was R, right? Then they told us it decreased by 2010 to 2015, so it's now 0.9 R. Now what do we know? If the population of city X is 120,000, so they're telling us P is equal to 120,000. What's the population of city Y in 2010? So this one we need to find. So we need to find R. No problem. What did they tell us? They told us that the population of both cities is the same in 2015. And so 1.2 P is equal to 0.9 R. But P is 120,000. So 1.2 times 120,000 is equal to 0.9 R. So then we divide both sides by 0.9. That's all. This cancel, and so we just put this in our calculator now. So it is now 1.2 times 120,000 divided by 0.9, and we'll get 160,000. So that's the population of city Y in 2010. That's all. 160,000. Easy. Nice. Now let's go. Number 17. Number 17 says the volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. Which of the following gives the radius of the sphere in terms of the volume? So make r the subject, no problem. So if we cross multiply, put this as v over 1 and cross multiply, this is saying 3v is equal to 4 pi r cubed. Then of course we can divide both sides by 4 pi, right? So we divide both sides by 4 pi. The 4 pi's cancel. So now we have r cubed is equal to 3v over 4 pi. And then we can cube root both sides. If we cube root both sides, then what we end up get is the cube root cancel the cube. So r is equal to the cube root of 3v over 4 pi. That's it. So r is the cube root of 3v over 4 pi, option D. Nice. All right. Okay. Now question 18. Question 18, it says, the table above shows results of a survey in which a tablet user were asked how often they would watch advertisement in order to access streaming content for free. Based on the table, which of the following is closest to the probability that the tablet user answered always, given that the user did not answer never? Now, this is a conditional probability, so we're trying to find a probability that the user answered always. Then they said given, so you put a little slash, given the user did not answer never. So we're saying not never, the user should have answered not never. So I put never with the apostrophe meaning, or the, whatever you want to call this. All right, this is, what is this again? Apostrophe, right? I really hope it's an apostrophe, but this reads complement in mathematics. Don't remember what it is in English, but this means complement. All right, so we have to remember now that the probability of A given B is equal to the probability of A intersect B over the probability of B. That's conditional probability law. So this is equal to now the probability of always and not never over the probability of not never. Now the probability of always and never and not never, so remember these are not never, it can be rarely, often, or always, and they intersect together at one spot, which is just always. So it's equal to 30.9% divided by not never is all of these again, So that is now 100 minus the never, which is the 31.3. That's it. Because to get all of these that are shaded in red right here, you just subtract the never. So in that case now, it is going to be, put it in our calculator, 30.9 divided by 100 minus 31.3. We put in the calculator and we get 0.45. Option C. Easy stuff. Nice. Question 19. It says in the equation above A is a constant. Now notice that we say that the coefficient of A is -1. When the coefficient A is less than 0, automatically we know that the curve frowns. When the curve frowns, it have a maximum point. And the maximum point is always HK. So our maximum point is 3A. So that would be option B. Nice and easy. Question 20. The maximum value of a data set is 84. A new data set with 26 integers created, including a new maximum now of 96. So notice that the highest go from 84 to 96. Which of the following must be 12 greater for the new data set? Has to be the range. Because we know range is equal to highest minus lowest. And so if you add on, if you change it, look at it. 84 minus, let's say the lowest was 40, right? The range would be 44. But when the range reach now 96, and the lowest is, let's say it's still 40, this is now 56. So notice the range increased by 12, right? So if any value that is larger than the previous highest, the range will have to increase by at least that amount. All right? Or more, depending on if we also get a new lowest. So C is the answer. Number 21. It says Clayton will mix X millimeters of 10% mass saline solution and Y millimeters of 20% mass saline solution in order to create an 18% mass saline solution. The equation above represents this situation. If Clayton uses 120%, remember 20% mass saline is Y. So if this right here, if Y is 100, plug in Y as 100, find X. That's all they're asking. So 0.1x plus 0.2 times Y, which Y is 100, that's equal to 0.18x plus, of course, the Y we say, which is 100. Working that out, this is now 0.1x plus 0.2 times 100 is 20. That's equal to 0.18x. And 0.18 times 100 is 18. Bring the 18 over here, so it's now 20 minus 18 equals 0.18x. Bring the 0.1x over to the right side, because remember, you're trying to group like terms. Do the subtraction, that's 0.08x. 20 minus 18 is 2. So finally, we just need to divide both sides by 0.08. We divide both sides by 0.08, and 2 divided by 0.08. Punch that in your calculator, or if you're brilliant enough, you can work that out mentally by knowing that 0.08 is 2 over 25. And so we get 25. No problem. Option B. Okay, the next one. Number 22. It says the first year Eleanor organized a fundraising event and she invited 30 people. And then it said for the next 5 years, she invited double that amount, right? So realize that Eleanor, what she do is that this is for the year and this is population, right? So initially, for the first year of our party, there is 30 people. For the next year, there's 60 people. For the next year, double again, 120. Then the other year, say double again to 240. And the other year, year 5, it double again to 480. So this is what? Increasing exponentially. Linear means a constant rate. It's clearly increasing. So decreasing would be out. And it couldn't be increasing linearly because look, it goes by 30 here, and it goes by 60, then 120. So it's not increasing linear, it is going at a faster clip, so it's increasing exponentially. Number 23, it says some values of x and the corresponding of y are shown in the table. Which one represent the equation to satisfy both x and y given in those tables? So the first thing we know is the equation of a line is y equal mx plus c, where m is the gradient. So let's find m first. First thing, find m. Remember, m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's use this as, let's use these 2 points, right? If I'm using these 2 points, my y2 is minus a, minus my y1 is 0, over x2, 3a, minus my x1 of a. I do my subtraction, I get minus a over 2a. The a's cancel, and so the gradient is minus a half. That's the gradient. The a's would cancel each other. Now I need to find my c. And so I know that the equation is y equal m, which we find to be minus a half x, plus c. But guess what? We can't find c because when the y is 0, x is a. So when y is 0, we have minus a half a plus c, right? And so to find c to be the subject, we'll bring minus a half a over to the other side. So c equal to a half a. Finally, we can go ahead and write down the equation. So the equation then is y is equal to minus a half x plus a half a. That's what we're getting. So in that case, we can multiply through the equation by 2, and we're getting 2y is equal to minus x plus a. Bring the x to the other side, and so we're saying x plus 2y is equal to a. And that's your equation, option A. Nice.
Wow!
All right, number 24. Number 24, it shows us a scatter plot. You don't have to do all of that reading. Sift through to see what they're asking. Which of the following could be the line of best fit? Basically, find the gradient. So to find the gradient remember is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, same principle. So I'm just going to use the two endpoints, right? So this y2 would be 150. My y1 would be 120. So that is now 3, I keep saying 300, sorry. That is 150 minus 60 over x2, which is 300 minus 120. That is 90 over 180, which is 0.5. And then the equation of a line is y equal to mx plus c. But m is a half, so y equal 0.5x, option B. Because it passing through the origin, so roughly the c is 0. Nice. Okay, number 25. Let me zoom up again. It says the system of equation above is graphed in the xy plane. What is the x coordinate? Don't need to answer anything more, just find x. So we need to eliminate y. So we can multiply the second equation by 3. 1.6 times 3. I know 16 times 3 is 48, so that becomes 4.8x. And then 3 times 0.5 is 1.5y equal to negative 3.9. And we have 2.4x minus 1.5y equals 0.3 from equation 1. So if we go ahead and maybe you want to add them, adding them you notice you get 7.2x, and then 1.5 plus negative 1.5 cancel, minus 3.9 plus 0.3 is minus 3.6. Then finally, to make x the subject, we need to divide by the coefficient of x. So divide by 7.2. Dividing by 7.2, these cancel. So x equal negative a half. Easy stuff. Nice. Number 25 was so basic. Number 26. It says Keith modeled the growth of several hundred years of a population by estimating the trees of pollens. He estimated there were 310 square feet in the first year, with an annual increase of 1% in the number of grains per centimeter. Therefore, which of the following models P of t? So this is really compound interest formula. Remember compound interest? Compound interest is the principal in bracket 1 plus r raised to the t, right? That's it. That's compound interest. So P of t in this case is the principal value or the initial value 310 in bracket 1 plus the rate of increase is 0.01 or 1% raised to the t. That is 310 in bracket 1.01 to the t. Option D. Easy. Soft. Nice. Number 27. Based on the equation, what is the value of 3x minus 2? Now, first thing I noticed was 9x minus 6 and 9x minus 6 here is the same thing, don't it? Let's call it y. Let y be equal to 9x minus 6. So I noticed that we really want 2/3 y minus 4 equal to y, right? And so if we multiply through by 3, this becomes 2y minus 3 fours is 12 is equal to 3y. So we can bring the 2y over here, so it becomes negative 12 equals 3y minus 2y. And so 3y minus 2y is y, so y is negative 12. But remember what was y? Y is 9x minus 6. That's negative 12. But remember, we don't want 9x minus 6. We want 3x minus 2, which is, if we just divide the equation by 3, we notice we get negative 4 is equal to 9x divided by 3 is 3x. 6 divided by 3 is minus 2. So see it there? We get to our negative 4, which is option A. Nice. Question 28. It says the function f is defined above. If k is positive, which of the following could be the graph? First thing we notice is that if you multiply x times x, you get x squared. So the coefficient a is 1, which is greater than 0. So that means the graph smile. Second thing, what do we know? Second thing we know is that if you were to set this being 0, you get x being negative 3. So one of the roots is negative 3. So we're looking for a graph that gonna have negative 3, then a positive value for k. So it's smile. So A and B out. C is out because this is negative 2. Voila, here's our negative 3. Negative 3k, so D could be a possible answer. Nice. Question 29. Question 29 says, the height above is used to approximate the height in inches of an adult based on the length of his femur. So on the y-axis, we have the height of a male, and then down here, so we have the femur length. And then they tell us that, of course, the gradient is 1.18 and the y-intercept is 32.01. Okay, so what is the meaning of 1.88, which is the gradient? So what the gradient mean? Remember, gradient is change in height over the change in femur length. So in other words, it is, when you do the division, we're saying what is the height increase per 1 inch of femur length? That's what we're saying. So looking for that. So the approximate increase in a man's height for each 1 increase of femur length. That's option D. Alright, that's what gradient means. Change in y, remember gradient is change in y over change in x. That's all. So option D. Number 30. In a quadrilateral, it says CD is a half AB. What's the measure of angle B? So angle B is all of this angle right here. So first I'm going to break it in a right angle triangle and a square. Why would I do that? Or let's say a rectangle. All right, don't know if it's a square. Now, what we do know is they told us that AD is equal to BC. Oh, sorry, AD is parallel to BC. Sorry, AD is parallel to BC. Then they tell us that CD is a half AB. No problem, but what we know is that, let's say this is CD, right? If this is CD, I will call the length Y. And CD is a half AB, then AB must be 2Y. But if this is a rectangle, then this piece must also be Y. So then we can use trig ratios to, let's call this angle theta. Now we can figure out this angle theta, because we already know this piece is what? 90. So what we do know is that the cos of theta, since we have adjacent and hypotenuse, is the adjacent of y over the hypotenuse AB of 2y. So in that case, we get cos theta is equal to 1 over 2, because y would cancel this y, so it's just 1 over 2. So theta is cos inverse of a half. You punch that in the calculator, you should get 60 degrees. So that means the angle is 60 degrees plus 90 degrees, which is 150 degrees, which is option A. Easy stuff. Nice. And guess what? We finished the multiple choice part. Time for the structure. So this question says Lynn has $8 to spend on apples and oranges. Apples are 0.65 each, right? And the number of oranges 0.75. If there's no tax and she buys 5 apples, so 5 apples she buy at $0.65 plus now she gonna pay $0.75 for oranges, but we don't know how many oranges, so let's put times n. So she buy n oranges, and we know that she spent less than $8, so we put less than or equal to 8. Now 5 times 0.65, punch that in the calculator, we get 3.25. We can bring that 3.25 over here to get 0.75 n is less than or equal to 8 minus 3.25. We punch that in the calculator. 8 minus 3.25 and we get 4.75. So 0.75 n is less than or equal to 4.75. And finally now we just divide by 0.75. So divide by 0.75, divide by 0.75. And so 4.75 divide by 0.75. And so that's what we're getting. We're getting 6.33. So n is less than or equal to 6.33. But you cannot buy 6.33 oranges. So n is just equal to 6. So Lynn can only buy a maximum of 6 oranges. Easy. Okay, number 32. Number 32, it says, in the triangle above, A is 34, what's B plus C? First thing, angles in a triangle sum to 180. So 180 minus A give you B plus C. So 180 minus 34, that is 146 degrees. That is it, 146 degrees. Nice. So that is the answer, we're done. Wow. So I guess since it says valid, you just shade in 146. If the mean of 5 numbers is 1600, what's the value of x? First thing, mean is add up everything. So add up all of these 5 numbers, divide it by 5, and the mean is 1600. So bringing up our calculator, and we're going to add 700 plus 1200 plus 1600 plus 2000, that is 5500 plus x, we know that's 1600. If we cross multiply, so let's go ahead and cross multiply. We're having so much fun, we cross multiply. 5 times 1600 is 8000. So 8000 is 5500 plus x. And so that means that x must be 2,500. That is x 25. Nice. Now number 34, it says relationship between x and y can be written y equal m times x. So if y is 17 and x is a, what's the value of y when x is 2a? So notice, y is equal to mx, and they told us that 17 is equal to, replace x with a, so 17 is equal to ma. So look at this now. If x is now 2a, that means that when x is 2a, y is equal to 2ma, but m times a is 17. So this becomes 2 times 17, which is 34. So our answer is 34. That's it, 34. Easy. Nice. Yeah, having a lot of fun. All right, we're almost there. We're almost there. Number 35. It says in the equation above, a and b are constants. If the equation has infinitely many solutions, what's the value of b? For it to have infinitely many solutions, let's first expand it. So we're getting ax plus ab equals 4x plus 10. If it have infinitely many solutions, then that means that the ax must equal 4x. And so that would be telling us a is equal to 4. If a is equal to 4, then what do we know? Then AB is 10 as well. These two must be equal, right? And if you're equating both sides, right, and AB is equal to 10 and A is 4, that's saying 4B equal 10. So divide by 4 to get B is 10 over 4, which is 2.5. Or some might say 5 over 2. That would be your answer. Nice. For infinitely many solution. Easy. Okay, nice. Now, number 36. It says in the xy plane, a curve, well, a line rather, as equation y equals c. And if the parabola intersects the curve at exactly 1 point, what is the value of c? So if the curve and the line intersect at 1 point, what is c? So what do we know? We know if you have a curve and the line intersect the curve at just one solitary point, then this line is what we call a tangent. If it's a tangent, we know, say, first thing, when you combine it as one equation to get one quadratic equation, then b squared minus 4ac is going to be equal to 0 if it is a tangent. So first thing, set the equations to be equal. Minus x squared plus 5x, that is y. It's equal to the y up top here, which is c. Bring over c, so it's minus x squared plus 5x minus c equals 0. Then we can apply the discriminants rule. We tell us, say, now b squared, and so 5 squared minus 4 times a times c, that's equal to 0. So 25 minus 4c equals 0. And so c is equal to 25 divided by 4. So bring over the 4. Just to not skip the step, we're saying 4c is 25. Then we divide it by 4. So c is 25 over 4. Or some might say 6.25. That's our answer. Nice. Okay, number 37. Number 37, it says the Peregrine Falcon can reach a speed up to 200 miles per hour. So the speed is 200 miles per hour. And it says, what is the Peregrine's maximum speed? And they want it in feet per second. So we need to convert miles to feet and hours to second. So the speed, which is 200 miles per hour, that's equal to 200 times, they told us that 1 mile is 5,280 feet divided by, convert to from hours to seconds. 1 hour is 60 minutes and 60 minutes and 1 minute is 60 seconds. So we got 60 times 60. Punch that in the calculator because we don't have time to waste. 200 times 5,280 divided by 60 times 60. Bam. Put that in the calculator and we'll get 293. So the speed is 293 feet per second. So that's it, 293 feet per second. Now in 38 it says if the Peregrine falcon dove at a maximum speed, half a mile to catch the prey, how many seconds would the dive take? First thing, speed is distance over time. And so what we do know is the speed, right? It dove at maximum speed. So it dove at the maximum speed, 293 for half a mile. But remember, 1 mile, they told us 1 mile was, let's go up back. They told us 1 mile was, going up, 5,280 feet. That's 1 mile. So therefore, half of the mile is we need to divide it by 2. So 5,280 divided by 2. That's 2,640. So therefore, the distance is 2,640 feet. They will divide it by time. And the time is what we're trying to find. So the time is what we're trying to find, t. So if we transpose it, t is equal to 2640 divided by 293. You punch that in the calculator. 2640 divided by 293. And we get 9 seconds. That's equal to 9 seconds. Nice. It's 9 seconds. Okay. Now what if you wanted to do it alternately? So you can put your big old or. Or the time which we know would be distance over velocity. The distance in miles is 0.5 because they say half a mile. And then we divide it by the velocity, and we already heard that the velocity at maximum was 200 miles per hour. So we do our division, 0.5 divided by 200, and that would give us 1 over 400. But this is what? This was when the time was in hours. When you're dealing with miles per hour, the time would be in hours. So to get it in seconds, we multiply it by 60 times 60. So multiply it by 60 times 60, and that is it, 9 seconds. So 1 over 400 times 60, we get with 9. Wow! Just like that, we get our 9 again. So it is still 9 seconds. And that concludes this paper. Well, it concludes the section 4 aspect of this paper. Alright, so I really hope this video was beneficial. Alright, so make sure to just like and subscribe to help the channel to grow. Keep practicing and do have a wonderful day.